Conspiracy theories. Let's talk about it. Them. Yeah, so I've been a big fan of conspiracy theories for like forever. Not because I necessarily believe that they're true. Some might be true, who knows? No smoke without fire, as they say. Yeah. But regardless of whether or not you believe in conspiracy theories or you just think they're like, crackpot ideas or whatever, I just think they're quite a cool subject to talk about. So there are, dozens and dozens, hundreds if not more, conspiracy theories out there. But I just wanted to touch on a few of my favourite conspiracy theories. There's the obvious ones like, the moon landing was faked, the earth is flat, for example. The thing with the flat earth theory is that what's the reason that, the world powers or whoever told us that the world is round, what's the benefit of them lying about that and keeping it from us that the earth is really flat? Like who gains anything from that? That's the main thing I don't really understand about the whole movement and the theory. So that's something I would definitely like to know the answer to in the comments below. So conspiracy theories have been around since like the dawn of time. I wouldn't be surprised if the dinosaurs had their own conspiracy theories about certain things. I don't know what they'd be, but they had stuff going on. So when you talk about conspiracy theories in the modern world, obviously the biggest subject for that is the pandemic. It is, the coronavirus, it is COVID-19. And there's a dozen theories behind that subject. And one of them is that COVID-19 it's a man-made virus, okay? That the shadowy underworld of, secret governments, which is a whole other topic, all of it's on its own, that they made this virus for population control. Now, I think to be fair to that conspiracy theory, it's not out of the realms of possibility, because as the world population grows and world resources become fewer, it's not out of the realms of possibility that those in charge would create a virus that would reduce the population. Obviously morally that's not exactly great. Another theory is that the vaccine puts an implant into you, like a microchip or something, which basically tracks you. I don't know fully why we need a microchip, because we're tracked all the time, aren't we? I mean, everywhere I go, everything I do on my phone, on YouTube, it's all got a timestamp, there's cameras everywhere. But maybe as people become more aware of the surveillance that we're constantly under, like 1984 style, maybe governments look at it and think, okay, we're down the line, we need ways that we can still track them without them knowing about it, which I suppose would make sense for a microchip or something to be implanted within your body, maybe. Okay, so the next one is something called the Philadelphia Experiment, or the Philadelphia Project. So what the Philadelphia Experiment was it was an experiment carried out in around 1943 by the US Navy on a ship called the USS Eldridge. I think I've got all that correct. And what this experiment did, and I won't go into the ins and outs of it because give it a Google. Give it a Google. Give it a Google. Google. So what it did, basically, it made this ship invisible. Okay? So obviously your enemy craft wouldn't be able to see it, which, in terms of defence, amazing. So not only was the ship able to become invisible, it was also able to teleport. Now, that in itself, as a conspiracy theory, is incredible. You know, the idea that, you know, a USS Navy ship can be teleported across the sea is just mind-blowing, you know, like that. But that's just the start of that theory. So, as the story goes, as the ship was being teleported, so were the crew on the ship. So it was a fully manned vessel. They were being teleported across the sea. I guess they were becoming invisible themselves, or at least the cloaking device around them was making them seem invisible. But as they were being experimented on, things such as their limbs would become fused to the ship. So, you know, their arms and their legs and who knows what else would be detached from their body and end up somewhere else on board. They'd find themselves embedded between floors of the ship, their body like fused to it, and they would end up with, you know, mystery illnesses that couldn't be explained or couldn't be treated, for example. And many of them allegedly went insane, which, to be fair, you can understand why that would happen, because to be teleported around and to find people's, you know, arms and legs, you know, fused to your ship would have a massive impact on you. And actually, these people going insane would have worked in the favour of the people in charge of the experiments, because who's going to listen to somebody that's been certified insane? They won't listen to them when they say, oh, I was on a ship that teleported, it went invisible, etc. So really it works in their favour that even though these people were potentially there and witnessed these things and experienced these things, nobody would believe them. Okay, and the last one I want to talk about is the conspiracy theory that pigeons are not real. Okay, so the theory is that pigeons are actually biotech surveillance systems, which basically means they are flesh and bone and blood and tissue and all that, but really they are robotic and they are used to spy on the general population. So it's thought that, you know, their eyes are cameras, you know, their feet are batteries, they have, you know, their stomachs are computers, and that they are used to, you know, collect data, to hack networks, and as I say, just generally spy on the general population, and I would imagine individual people as well. So, for example, if you're a threat to a country, and they want to keep an eye on you without, you know, putting people at risk, for example, it makes sense to have some sort of a biotech robot to just wander along, you know, fly overhead, perch in a tree, you know, walk past you in the street, because pigeons walk past us probably, you know, every day, and you don't think twice about it. And when you've got like millions and millions of these surveillance drones all across the world, all linked up, I guess all their information going to the same central hubs, perhaps. Yeah, you could easily just follow someone probably around the world, really. So personally, as much as, you know, if you ever see a dead pigeon, there's, you know, blood and feathers and bones, and people would think, well, where's the metal? Where's the wires, for example? Where's the camera? But the way I think about it is that technology is definitely kept from us. So the advancements in technology aren't given to us right away, for whatever reason. So again, it's not a mad idea that governments have these highly advanced, you know, drones, which are flesh and bone, you know, built in labs, for example, and that the cameras they use are nothing like what we know as cameras. It's not like having the camera on my phone, for example. It's not like having a microphone you might see, you know, someone using to sing on stage. They're super advanced, and as a society, we're kept in the dark about the advancements there are in technology. That's just my 2 cents about that. As always, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time.